Hello and welcome to the special mini episode of the Freakish Lemon video podcast. I am your host, the Freakish Lemon. I go by Adrian and I use masculine pronouns. As you saw from the first part of this video, we did a little video tour of the Fiber Friends and Fun yarn crawl put on by the Western Connecticut Yarn Council and the special fiber weekend by the Coventry Farmers Market. I had a lot of fun this weekend, going to all these different places. We went to all 7 yarn shops in the yarn crawl, and I bought something from every single store. Yes, I did. So this part of the video is basically a haul video. I'm going to show you the stuff that I bought, because otherwise my next episode is going to be the longest episode on the face of the planet. So, excuse the crinkling, there will be a lot of it. That's how I've managed to keep everything separate so I can film this. But yeah, let's go through it. The first yarn shop we stopped at was New England Yarn and Spindle in Bristol, Connecticut, and I bought a skein of Plymouth Yarn Company 90% superwash merino, 10% nylon, Happy Feet 100 splash. Hand-dyed speckly yarn. I couldn't walk away from it. It was just hanging out there. I couldn't walk away. It's so lovely. There's a bunch of different blues, and there's some yellow and some purple, a little bit of pink, but mostly blues. And there's both this like navy type blue and this more kind of a greenish blue teal color. I'm very excited to work with this. Yes. It's clear that I don't go to these yarn stores often enough because I'm trying to bust so much stash, because every single one of them surprised me with their stock. I had no idea that Bristol carried speckly yarn and things. So I bought that in Bristol. If you look on a map, you'll see that we did this circuit for the first day, because then we moved on to Avon. And Avon was kind enough to give us these official yarn crawl bags, where I've got everything stuffed. And there I bought some Malabrigo Rios in the colorway Comparsita, which is a merino superwash at a worsted weight. It looks a little brown on my little screen. It's more of a burgundy, dark, reddish color. Yep, string. Yes. That's what I bought in Avon. I tried to minimize it to... I had a list of things. I mostly stuck to my list. Mostly stuck to my list. The speckle yarn was not on my list, but I mostly stuck to my list of things that I knew I was going to be making soon. So that's what we bought in Avon. Then we moved on to In Sheep's Clothing in Torrington, where I bought two skeins of the Stella Jacques by Adriaphil. I don't know what... I'm guessing the color is just this number, which is 080005, 100% superwash wool. I'm very excited to work with that. Sorry again for the noise of the bag. Also the street. And then we went over to Black Sheep Yarns in Kent, where I didn't buy any yarn, but I got some decently priced Chiaogu 32-inch circular needles. I got one in the size 1, the 2.25 millimeter, and a size 0, 2 millimeter. They were really good price, actually. Because I think you get them for $8 on Amazon, and these were $9. So that's really not that much of a bump for a local yarn store to have. So that was worth it, because I do need a pair of ones to swatch for that sweater, and I found out that my gauge going from DPNs to Magic Loop with the Chiaogus goes up. So if I want to make socks for myself using my usual stitch count and type of fabric, I think I need to go down to the US zeros. And you can't ever have too many what? And you can't have too many needles, right? I mean, come on. We're knitters. That is what we do. So that was on Friday. On Saturday, we went to the remaining 3 yarn shops because of where they're located in the state. First, we went to A Stitch in Time in Bethel. And this is where I splurged. This is... oh, okay. This is where I went off book a little bit. I had planned to get some lace weight to do a lace weight Pebble Beach shawl, which I did. I got this Jaggers spun. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce that. Jagger. Zephyr, which is 50% wool, 50% silk. It's 100 grams, so approximately 1,120 yards. I got one in indigo and one in steel. Which actually was a pretty good price. And then I treated myself a little bit because this place had Madeline Tosh unicorn tails. So I got the Magnolia Leaf, because I've never worked with Madeline Tosh before. They had, you know, full skeins and everything, but these were $5 or $6, so, you know, nice sample size. And then she also had random mini skeins for a few dollars, so I got this. I don't know what it is, but it's like a muted olive green, blue, reddish color. It's really nice, and I'm going to put at least some of it into my my Cozy Memories blanket, but I'll probably have a lot left over, because this is a big mini skein. So eventually I will be doing mini skein swaps again, probably via the Yarngasm podcast group, because there's a lot of people trading mini skeins there. But yeah, if you trade minis with me, you might expect to see some of this mystery yarn in what I send you. That is a wonderful store, the Bethel Store. I mean, all these stores are great stores, but the Bethel one, it's probably the biggest out of all the yarn stores, and half of it is yarn and half of it is needlepoint. So there's a lot of variety of things to look at. That's a hard one to walk out of without buying lots of things. Yeah, so then we went down to Nancy O in Ridgefield, which it's another half and half store. It's half yarn shop and it looks like half consignment type fancy things. I'm not sure, but there's like clothing and jewelry and things on the other half of the store. I didn't really look there, but and I didn't buy any yarn either, because there wasn't anything that was grabbing me at that store, but I did buy some soak wool wash in the yuzu scent, which is like a citrusy scent. Because I'm running low, and you can never have too much wool wash if you're a knitter, so that's always good. And then we went on to Westport Yarns in Westport, which is my sister's local yarn shop. She lives a whole 3 blocks away from it. And I ended up buying some Wonderland Yarns, Pigments of Imagination, March Hare. It says March Hare here, and it says Goat's Beard here. So I'm not sure what's what. But it's this lovely light tonal gray, worsted weight. Superwash merino. I did not know that Wonderland Yarns was dyed by Frabjous Fibers. I've spun with Frabjous Fibers fiber before, and I really like how that fiber spins up. So I'm excited to work with this. Because, I mean, you can tell it's tonal, but it's hard to see exactly how it'll turn out when it's all skeined up. But I'm excited. And it's very squishy. It's a squishy yarn. Yes. Oh, she also gave me a tape measure. Westport Yarns tape measure. Oh, who was it? Avon also had a goodie bag to go with it. The Avon Store, Knit and Pearls. I don't know if I mentioned that. Knit and Pearls is the name of the Avon Store. They have their own brand of tea now. So we got a little goodie bag that had a package of tea in it and a couple of little fun-sized candy bars for us to snack on during our crawl. And that tea was really good. They had a black tea, I think it was called Orange Cookie. So it was like an orangey black tea. It was really good. I might have to stop there and get some tea from this yarn store. And then I can show you, this year they decided to do a passport booklet instead of, last year we had a print-off PDF that had the name of the stores and we would turn it in at the end. This year they gave us this booklet. It was $5, but I mean, it's worth it because it has recipes and patterns in it. So each store gave a recipe and a pattern. There's a center pull-out page with some coupons and a little information about each store that you're going to, like what kind of things they carry, a little blurb about them. And they let us keep it at the end, which is very nice, because our passport was on the back. Yeah, you have a stamp or a sticker from every store, and they just took a photo of the inside page where you put your name and your phone number and your email address, and that entered us into the grand prize drawing. So that's really cool that we got something cool out of it, and we got to keep the memento. So that was fun. Would recommend. It is a great tour of Western Connecticut, honestly. It's a great, and I mean, you could do it in one day. It would be rough. It would be timing specific, but I like doing the 2 days because we leave here at like 10 o'clock. We get home 2 or 3 o'clock, depending on, where we stop for lunch and where all that takes place, whether we dawdle anywhere else. Friday when we were going around north, we ran to a couple of other places to run some errands, post office, CVS, that kind of thing, just because it's part of our way there and the stops that we always go to, but it was really fun. It was really, really fun. And then on Sunday we went to the Coventry Farmers Market Fiber Weekend. Now we had heard that the people who are running it aren't going to be running it anymore, but some of the vendors were saying that they've brought it to the town to maybe have the town run the farmers market, because there are a lot of farmers who participate in this farmers market where this is a huge chunk of their livelihood. There wasn't as many fiber folks as there usually are this year, and we're thinking maybe the news that this could be the last one was a part of that, but there was some, old favorites there, and I did end up buying a few things. The first thing I bought was from Madison Wool, which I believe is a yarn shop in Madison, Connecticut. And it's this beautiful Polworth from 222 Handspun. With these bright colors. There was another one that was like highlighter colors. It was astonishing, but I really liked how this one went. I don't know what I'll make out of this when I spin it, but I don't know if I've spun Polworth before, but it's really floofy. I really like it, just touching it, so this should be really, really fun to spin. And then I bought from old favorites, sorry, this one's really crinkly, Burgess Brook Alpaca. This is 1 ounce, 2 ounces of alpaca. I tend to buy a little bit of fiber from them every year. I have several small bits of hand spun, like 2 ounce, 1 ounce bits of hand spun from various alpaca vendors that are local. So I decided to get another one because I'm going to eventually turn them all into a Quaker yarn stretcher. I think that would be a good use of all these different bits of alpaca. Most of them are variations on the natural colors, so a lot of creams, browns, blacks. I have one that's slightly dyed, but it's dyed in like soft orange tan colors, so it'll work well with that. She had a lot of dyed stuff this year, so greens and blues, but she did have some of the natural, and she always leaves a little tuft hanging out so you can touch it. So, some more fiber to spin. And then I had to buy from these folks again. This is the Palmer Family Farm. I bought 2 skeins of CVM, which is California Variegated Mutant? Starts with an M. So it's not a pure breed sheep. But the wool that these sheep produce is really dense and springy. Like, there's a lot of stretch in it, and it springs, like it's squishy. It's a little bit stickier than other wools that I've used. I'm guessing that when you shear these sheep, they have very curly locks. 'Cause even the little bits of halo that are sticking out, there's not much halo, but the little bits are super curly. But the lady who sells it was saying that it is excellent for socks. Now, I've made a scarf out of this breed, and it is a very warm scarf. So I thought I needed to make myself a pair of socks. And I went with the natural undyed stuff. She does have some dyed stuff, but I like the natural brown. She does have a website, so if you're interested in trying this breed of sheep, I don't think I've run across anybody else who sells yarn from this breed of sheep. She has a website, palmerfamilyfarm.com, I don't know if she's got a store up there, but if you're interested in buying some of this, it is, it's well worth trying out. Because, I mean, this is a 2-ply, but this is like right in the lens. Oh, it's not gonna focus. I have it on fixed focus. I'm trying a thing. Let's see. Can I get it to focus? No, I can't. But, even out of focus, you can see that's a very plump twist, which makes it very sprungy. I'm excited to make socks out of it. I'm just chucking everything over there. And I bought some fudge, because there's a family who sells fudge in these, let me grab one. In these little packs. I got some double chocolate walnut and a pumpkin one, which I've already started eating. But they give you a little spoon, so you can either eat it at the fair or bring it home. And they have great flavors, so we always buy fudge from them when we go. It's a must. But our pie people weren't there this year. Or our jam people, which was very sad. But I know my sister bought a bunch of stuff because she grocery shops at farmers markets a lot. And my mom got a bunch of cheeses, which are really good. So, all in all, a successful weekend with lots of yarn and lots of fiber and the dogs having a good time outside at the Coventry Farmers Market because we brought the dogs. That's always a good time, bringing the dogs to places. Although none of them are very keen on the alpacas that they had. One of the alpaca stands had a couple of alpacas in a little fenced-in area. None of them were too keen on them. It's because they're too tall. Corgis tend not to like other creatures that are taller than them, I've noticed. Dogs maybe, but not alpacas. And not some humans, because of how tall they are. But yes, that is it. It feels like it's really short. It's probably not really short, but it feels like it because it's not a full episode. So I'm gonna get back to cataloging and updating my Ravelry with all of my fun purchases. And I will see you in mid-October for a full episode. Goodbye.